went to yesterday.
We just went to a church.
There's a vampire in the basement.
Yep, vampire in the basement. The whole place is falling apart.
Do you guys want to hear what the fuck we did in Fenstrad game?
No, it was so good.
So the party.
We've avoided every single thing.
Yeah. The party has seen the murder house. We said no, fuck that. There was something.
So that's unfortunate.
There was something happening in the basement of the first tavern that we went to. We said no, fuck that. Literally the same thing beat for beat with my dad's dead. We got to do the funeral. We took the coffin up there. The priest is doing some weird ritual thing, and Dora is down in the basement. Strahd shows up.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, like hungry, Daddy, I'm hungry.
Father, please.
Strahd shows up, does finger guns at the gunslinger.
Because he's a chaotic bisexual.
We're like, wow, that's gay. And then once that was done, after Isaac had a long conversation about how Strahd should respect women's choices and that consent is by far the most attractive thing of all.
Sexiest. Yeah.
Dude, that backfired on you so bad.
How did it backfire on me?
She's been consenting the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think she really was, honestly, with everything.
It's all
that
up in the
Strahd
air.
does.
It's up in the air.
But, so yeah, then we had the option of dealing with Doru, and then we're like, nah.
Wait, you just walked away?
Mozzarella.
Well, the thing is, our party has very different opinions of what dealing with Doru is.
Yeah, yeah. And to quote Zarola, we're not getting paid, so I don't care.
And the priest was like, please don't. I mean, he's in the basement. He can't get out yet.
Don't kill him.
Yeah.
That's a future party problem when he gets out.
Anyway.
If we're getting paid. If we're not getting paid, it's not.
He gets out and the town is just dead. Just gone.
That's fine.
That just means that for those of you who are watching, you should definitely go subscribe or follow Guild of the Phoenix because...
Modern Strahd. We took a car and we're driving out of town.
I can't believe you bro-knotted a bunch of motorcycle skeletons.
Bunch of skeletons on motorcycles drove up like we're watching fucking Ghost Rider, and I nod to them like sup, and they're like sup, and then they peel off.
Yeah, because you built like a 23 on like your Christmas or whatever.
There's no words to describe how confused I am.
Yeah, well...
It's a modern take on Strahd, so once it becomes modern, it instantly becomes...
I don't think that helps. I really don't think that helps.
Oh, because
it was hilarious, if that means anything to you.
So yeah, we've swapped over.
I figured.
Oh, we've been swapped over.
Yeah.
Nothing new. Nothing new here.
Yeah, that whole time. So that's why I just told everybody to watch Guild of the Phoenix so that they can see more.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody, welcome. It's been a while. It is time for that game called the Immortal Odyssey, which is our second edition Scion game where we play children of the gods who are making their path towards godhood. Unfortunately, this time the path towards godhood is on rails.
Towards Omaha.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's really the
There's a stop in Omaha.
There's a stop in Omaha. It's not. We're not staying very long in Omaha, and also to be fair, you guys started your trip because this is a 13-hour trip or something along those lines. So it'll be like nighttime by the time you make it to like Omaha, because you want to make it to New York in like the morning or like in the early, when everybody's awake to start to do the clappy to say, hey, you did it, Shinji.
There, I'm not talking anymore.
Ever?
Ever.
Okay.
Leaf is gonna use sign language now with one hand.
You have two hands.
You do have two hands.
One is a ball of mist.
I mean, but there are fingers. Like,
Fingies.
It has fingers.
It's a noodle. It's a noodle.
In the drawing, it's a noodle, but it is a hand, and it does have fingers, and it will
misty fingers,
and it can gesture. You can flip somebody off with your noodle hand. Just letting you know that is something that you can do.
That's good. That's good to know.
But is it something you will do?
If you choose
I mean,
to.
that's important information.
It's been a while since I could. No one's gonna join along. Okay, so it's been a while.
I don't know what you're singing.
Oh, the song!
I knew instantly, and I just gazed into the distance.
That's also a running meta gag that we do a little bit. So it's been a while since we played. We started our adventure with introducing a new person to the team, specifically Shane, which once again is our guest player playing a man called Du Bois. Though if you look at the stream and you look at the layout, it does say Dubois. But he says his name is Du Bois. And
as it should be.
Scion of Dionysus, who is also been invited by our good Deva Scion friend Ravi, who has invited the majority of the group, or the whole band, to come to this train that is a high-speed train that is set to go from one side of the country to the other side of the country in less than 13 hours, which is pretty exciting. But he knows that there are going to be problems because this is a tabletop game and he can see past the fourth wall. That's not true. It's just because he has...
That's not his special scion power?
That's not his special scion power. No one has that yet. Maybe Nutty. Maybe Nutty.
Yeah, maybe Nutty.
Maybe Nutty. Basically, maybe only the prophecy people. People who have prophecy can break the fourth wall and see that this is really just a game. And that we are here to play a game, and so trouble has to happen. Either way, Ravi believes that somebody's going to try and sabotage this event. Mostly because...
He's just paranoid.
Mostly because he is a Deva, and there are lots of Titans and Titan spawn that usually like to cause Deva trouble, but that's mostly because the Deva caused trouble back first. So he believes that there's going to be some issues along that kind of track. But we have other things that we want to do on this train. Specifically, we have been able to customize each of our trains to look a certain way, based on our aesthetics, based on our needs, our desires, and based on the people that we wish to honor. So everybody has their own individual room space in one of the 12 cars that are available on this train, right? And you guys have the back cars, which I hope you guys remember all the little details of that room, that the car that you have. Yes? People remember? Kind of? A little bit?
I mean, we've slept since then.
I mean, we've all slept since then, and we've all started doing big person adult jobs, so sometimes our brains just kind of do... Well, some of us have been working, and then some of us have been playing excessive amounts of video games. And some of us
I already have 100 hours in Assassin's Creed. It's not funny.
Well, that's my fault for giving you access to all of my games, right?
No, I bought it.
Okay. There's also people getting ready to move. So there's a lot of stuff going on, so I can understand if we don't remember it all. I kind of remember a bit because, GM brain, but we can talk about that in a little bit more detail. What else? What else am I missing? You guys all made friends, made nice with each other, and you guys kind of all sat around and planned what you were going to do as far as defending the train, which was splitting the party across the 12 trains. With Wiley at the head using his boof eyes, if we remember correctly, to sit on top of the front of the train. Like, you're on top. Like, I imagine Wiley as a hood ornament, but for a train. But I'm not too sure if that was actually what was... I was thinking, like, that's the funny joke that I'm making in my head. Is that actually what's happening?
I mean, he's not like outside the train. He's still inside the train.
Okay,
But he is keeping watch very, very vigilantly and strictly.
For some bizarre and strange reason, I imagine him just sitting crisscross applesauce at the top of the train in its speediness.
He goes flying off at one point.
And he's just staring unblinkingly forward with the wind just whipping in his hair and Bugs just God knows what's going on. You know, but I knew that was wrong. Like, a part of me knew that was wrong. Why did I think that? And I do believe...
It would be funny.
Yeah, because it would be hilarious, and that's what we do here. There is also another thing that I think we never really kind of approached, but it's kind of lingering in the background. It kind of happened in the session before that, where we're planning, not only are we planning to defend this train from being heisted, but we're also planning on faking some deaths. At some point, which you will have to try and find an opportunity to do so during this train ride. Might I remind you that you have a train ride that's going from Omaha. Well, you started in LA. The train is on its way to Omaha, and then from Omaha it's going to go to Philly, and then from Philly it's going to stop in New York. So sometime during that ride, we're going to need to create ourselves some fake deaths. Not necessarily the death certificates yet, but, you know, we need to fake some deaths here. So that's something to kind of remind you guys that is something that you need to do. Obviously, Dubois doesn't know.
I don't know either, so that checks out.
So you don't
I was like,
know.
what are you talking
so
about?
Don't worry about that. That's something that never got mentioned in the previous season or previous session that I want to make sure that everybody remembers that's something that we are supposed to be doing, or at least trying to. Unless you decide you want to stay in Scion, then that's totally different. No, you don't want to. Okay. Since I kind of did most of that recap, I would love it if in order
I get a momentum.
Well, no. I would love it if for each of you guys to kind of remind the party, remind the people around here, since you guys could customize each train or train car, do you remember what you were going to do for your train car? And we're just going to go around the table so you can say who you're playing and what their train car looks like, because again, this is a train car, a luxury train car, a train car that we should all be enjoying and having fun in, gaining influence and partying, or not. But I'll leave Andromeda to explain that part. And let's start with Da Boys, Shane, because I know you know what you're doing, or I know what your car looks like.
Yeah, it looks like an Astro Skate for the walls. I remember mentioning that it was like weird galaxy designs, and that there was notably only a handful of tables lining the walls without any like real like seating there, and the majority of the floor was set up like a dance floor, almost like a disco with like underlit lights, and there were LEDs all over the place for some reason.
You
I
don't need a
remember
reason.
just that being a note. It just like multicolored lights, and there was also a stage on I believe it was the left side towards the back of the train, like so going further away from the bar, the furthest point from the bar, where there was a small stage with a setup for the party animals with like a drum set and some instruments and microphones and stuff.
Nice. I do know that Julian knows what Jay's train car looks like. Can you tell the class?
I can tell the class. So Jay's car is connected to Du Bois's car. They kind of coordinated. So while Du Bois's car is for debauchery on the dance floor, the reason why there's no seats is because the seating area is in the bar lounge.
It's not just any bar lounge.
It is specifically made for Aguang, the Azure Dragon, aka Jay's dad, which Jay had to go to some lengths to modernize. Otherwise, everything might have been soggy and smelling of seawater. So good thing that everything is now modernized and dry. That way people can feel comfortable in the space.
Ah, yes, the workers and your sister brought furniture from home.
See, the thing is that there's home of the palace, and then there's home that's underwater.
They brought the moistness.
They brought the moisture with them, and Jay was like, no. X card on that. But the cool thing about Jay's car is that for each of the individuals who is involved in our party, to give everybody a bit of an extra boost towards their worship, there are specific drinks to kind of focus on each player. So everyone has their own fancy dancy drinks. I don't know if Leafs is just tears that she stole from
I think we made the joke. I think we made the joke last time that it was water so that people could hydrate and cry more.
Yeah.
What if it was
Why isn't it tea? Leaf water.
I mean, that's true.
What if it was like when it's water, right? But when it comes out, it's bubbling water. So you're like, ah, God, and then you get upset.
And then you just squeak out a little tear, just a little one.
You're like, ha, gotcha.
Doesn't matter how you cry, as long as you fucking cry.
It's something Johnny would do. It's like tricks you to think you're drinking like seltzer water or bubbling water.
No, we'll just have everyone drink the thick water.
Ew.
Oh, no.
What?
Thick water.
Thick water.
Please, no.
Anyway, now that I've ruined everything, please move on to the next car.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next car. Julian, you could probably heat up your food now.
Yes, theoretically.
Okay, that's why I went to you.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Andromeda, since that's kind of the theme of your car a little bit, isn't it?
Depression?
Yes. Tell me about your train car.
Because Leaf is the scion of hell, her car is very dark and gloomy, specifically also because it is tailored to the story of her and her sister, who tragically died on the operating table. So it's a lot of life and death duality, courtesy of Jay, our party artist, who can invoke emotion into his art, make people feel said emotion. So it is a very depressing train car. I believe it's the last one on the train sub.
It's
yeah.
I think the order is like Wiley, Johnny, Jay, Du Bois, Leaf. So basically you're going through a very fun romp.
And then you get to Leaf.
And then you get to the end, and then the crash just hits you.
Quiet, sad room. But it's dark, so that like you don't have to, get the bright lights in your eyes right after you've come out of the dark. It's
Looks
great.
like actual hell.
Yes.
It's at the very end.
Hell looks at you from the back. I mean, because the art.
Because there's a funny portrait,
art.
Right? That shows her skeleton face.
Yeah, because it tells the story and then it ends at hell, like where everything else ends. You can just look at her.
Yeah. Luckily, there's no door there, like at the very end, like a classic Wild West train
There's
car.
A door there. You just fall out.
You just walk out.
We plan on sending the people that are suffering from alcohol poisoning over there.
Yeah, and everything in there is
It's
built
a
for two, so
timeout
it's
room.
big enough that you can like lie down and you can suffer from your alcohol poisoning and recover.
Well, you kind of did sell it to Du Bois that you were like some sort of healer, so he's like, oh, you can help them and then they can come back to the party.
Du Bois is going to be very confused when they come back and they're all just crying.
Yep.
Or they don't come back because
there's crying in hospitals.
Yes.
Hospitals have a lot of crying.
Yeah, but
not that that's a good thing.
I don't
just,
think
it's
that
a
when
fact.
you said I can heal people, I don't think like Du Bois thought there's going to be like an ER room in the back that's going to just pump everybody's stomach out of alcohol and then go back to like I don't think that's what he thought.
You should not look at Leaf and see the picture of health.
You should not look
Two
at me.
people in front of me.
Should not look at
of
me.
me. One of them was like obfuscating like their like a weird like hallucination in the desert. One of them is a literal cowboy, and the next person has like a ghost arm and it's like, I can heal people.
Cowboy is the surprising part, really?
I do believe I did describe Johnny as somebody who looked like he just went out of a spirit store, right?
Because he does.
Yeah, but he's blurry when you look at him. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
It's because he has deception.
Yeah. I'm just like... I don't expect it to be like, oh, I'm like a registered nurse or whatever. I'm like, no, you've got like supernatural powers or something for healing is what he thinks.
To be honest, whenever I see anyone in like a cowboy hat, I am thrown off by it. I'm just like, oh, one of those people. Okay, cool.
You would not like where I live.
Taylor's like, what's that supposed to mean? What do you
mean?
No,
it's just...
What do you mean, you people?
It's the you people with them hats.
Doug Dimmadome, home the Dimbadale Dimmadome.
Let's go over to Johnny.
Hello. I'm Gar. I play Johnny. One of the people that have to fake their death, but it's fine.
That's fine. We'll worry about that.
It's fine. Later. Those are details that they have to talk about later. So his train car kind of looks like, at first, it's like a weird painted scenery of Vanaheim with some details of his own like lineage, kind of, because he's the son of Loki.
Yeah,
kinda.
You're also a scorpion.
Yeah, right. So there's that giant mural. It's a chill room. You go there to relax. Child's room. Play with shit. Have board games. Kill each other over Monopoly.
Bet you there's the big giant adult-sized Jenga.
Yeah. Or you can actually beat.
I was gonna say they're beating each other with the.
You have a set of lawn darts in your train car.
They're just
yes.
throwing the beanbag toss, the tiny beanbags that you toss. They're throwing those at each other and they're hitting them with.
Johnny
the
thinks it's perfectly fine because all the kids they can't die.
Isn't that beanbag toss thing called corn in a hole?
Yeah, it's cornhole.
Yes.
Cornhole, yes. Not
we
corn in the
hole. We actually have a
hole.
cornhole set.
Just cornhole.
Another part of the train car is that depending on the song you play, the background switches.
Oh, so we have a jukebox, right? That's
yes.
what we said. Yes, I remember. I remember that now. Yes. And last, but certainly not least, actually, yes, you are the last one. I guess I can describe what the rest of the train looks like. Wiley, Taylor, what does your train look like if you remember?
Very, very Western. Lots of woods and lots of sort of Southwestern prints.
Oh, yes! Again, I remember we were showing pictures of, like, all of the bedspreads and stuff like that.
It was like teal and orange.
Yeah, like, a lot of the colors that are on Wiley are sort of decorating this. And I believe I remember saying something about games in here. More like card games. Like gambling games.
It's a saloon.
It's a saloon. It's basically a saloon car.
You have the fantastic tables that have the lips so your cards don't go flying off. We talked about this, I remember.
You're so right.
Yeah, so the cards don't go flying off the table.
That's exciting. So we have, I think I love the fact that we have, like, this is proof that our characters are all just secretly also gamers. Because if you look out of the 5 cars that we have, like, 3 of them involve some sort of gaming leisurely activity. Granted, there's dancing in Du Bois, but we got 2 with legit games, just they're game cars, and then we have 1 that looks like a roller rink, and then a cry room, which is standard to any convention. Like if you go to
it's
any
like
gaming
on a college
convention.
campus during finals week, they make the room that's like all chairs and beanbags, and you can go in there and lie down and cry.
You can tell
It's
that
the
they're all
ball
gay.
pit.
Yes.
It's the ball pit of this train car. The single ball pit with nothing else there.
The single ball pit at DashCon?
The DashCon?
Yes!
The DashCon ball pit, that's what it is? Right?
Yep, that's what Leaf's
Careful,
car is.
I've heard that someone's peeing it.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was the rumor. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but definitely that was something that was spread on the Tumblrs when people talking about.
Oh no, it was true. It was true.
It was
Somebody
true.
did pee in the ball pit,
And
and then they announced that there was another hour left in the ball pit.
Oh, and then there was like live readings of supernatural, not safe for work fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a DashCon.
Why not?
It was peak Super Hulock. Like during that time, it was peak Super Hulock.
Plus Night Vale, but they couldn't afford him.
I'm so confused. It's like learning a new language.
Yeah.
There's some great videos about DashCon, like the history of DashCon. It's so wild. It
existed.
It
was a thing that happened.
And you know, for a select few, it was a real life experience. Like we really went there. Somebody really liked Tumblr that much that they went to DashCon. And on that note, let's start the game. We'll have our momentum pool, right? And our tension pool is basically matched pretty much +2. This new pool that you see over in the Roll20,
I like it.
It's called the collateral pool. It's a pool that happens, that is added in the Titan book. And it's specifically what happens when you fight bigger things. Collateral damage tends to happen. And so when you do certain things, like, for example, make miracles happen, or do things on a feat of scale, on a bigger feat of scale, or there's other stuff. Hold on. I have the list to look at.
Crash a train.
Perform marvels, perform feat of scale, make any roll enhanced by scale, rolling a pool with divinity dice, which does not account. I don't think that counts for us because we're not demigods. Failing to buy off complications that are applicable to maybe causing collateral damage. Certain stunts that are listed have collateral damage. And special flares or antagonist abilities that I have, right, might cause collateral damage. Every time that happens, 1 dot gets added to the collateral pool. When we get up to 10, we roll 10 dice. And
Can we do something funny happen?
And depending on the number of successes, result in a certain kinds of stunts happening that result in essentially collateral damage. And it's the person that does the last collateral damage point that will do the roll, and essentially, the collateral damage will then just all over, right?
Like exploding dice, except for it's people dying.
No, it doesn't always have to be people. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's. Why are you gonna have the snake and you're gonna eat?
Because he wanted to come out.
Well, you should probably not.
It's just proving Julian's dominance over the snake because Julian can eat, unlike the snake.
He's fine.
Well, if you want me to hold him, just let me know.
Okay.
So that's what the collateral damage pool is. It's a Titan specific one. It's an optional rule, but we're gonna play around with it, see what happens. If we like it, we like it. If we don't like it, then we just don't do it again. Though highly doubtful, because there's gonna be a lot of collateral damage coming this way in general.
How many points do we have in the collateral pool already?
0.
Oh,
That's
we
worrisome.
have all 10.
Yeah, and basically it doesn't kick off.
We have 9.
It doesn't activate until you reach 10 dice. Or 10 dots. Okay? So I'll keep track of that. And so, I'll copy and paste another dot and just kind of put it down there when I need to. So you can see like that.
Question.
Yeah.
Quick, does really dumb stuff that people that are drunk because of the alcohol that we provide count as collateral damage that we cause?
I guess that would depend on the number of people involved in the drunk shenanigans. So, like,
Train full.
Like the whole train
Everyone.
of everybody in the train.
Really?
Yes.
If they just decided to get out and tip the train or something.
That, like, if they were to collectively, like, all decide to start flipping furniture, that would cause, theoretically, like, a point in the collateral pool.
They bring down the establishment board by board.
30 to 50 feral hogs doing something that their 30 to 50 feral hogs would do, like, TP an entire car.
What are you talking about? We brought down a Walmart.
You guys brought down a Walmart. That's a perfect example of collateral damage.
That's kind of awesome.
Being done. So that's just something that I want to try and play around with. If it ends up not working out, it ends up not working out. But it feels like it's relevant for this specific game, or this specific arc. So, with that in mind, I would love to kind of set the scene for you guys and have us start trucking along in this game. So, you all left Los Angeles on this high-speed rail. This is probably like 2 or 3 days after you had initially arrived, right? Because obviously it takes some time to design your cars. Maybe getting them all designed perfectly. And for you, Jay, your family, it doesn't, the servants and the family doesn't stick around. Your sister doesn't stick around. They sort of just see you off and say, don't break everything.
Why? I bought half of the things that are in the car.
Right. Don't get hurt. Be safe. All of that stuff. All the well wishes from the people that you leave behind, will give their well wishes, and you are on your way on the train. So if you remember, the train itself is, if I remember correctly, I did not pin it because I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a dumbass. I'm just gonna.
You're our dumbass.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. Okay, there it is.
You're a smartass to me.
Okay. So, the train will go, is starting to go from Los Angeles all the way to Las Vegas. And for the most part, you're going to see, for some strange and bizarre reason, it's almost as if something is planned later on, that the trip across the desert and going north from Los Angeles, sort of northeast, is going to be mostly desert, mostly uneventful, and also it's like the afternoon, so you're probably not going to see a lot of stuff outside of just the blazing sun. It is the summer after all. But this is plenty of time to booze, schmooze, and get yourself familiar with the space if you'd like to. Some of this stuff is kind of important, especially if some people are planning their own deaths. They might want to know what the hell's going on, but also if you are oddly suspicious of anybody or anything, you might be able to start doing some investigations and sort of see what the hell is going on here. Sound good? Just as a reminder of the other people that are on this train, okay? Not only are you guys on this train, but Ravi, some of his people that work for his company, right? That are trying to make sure that this whole thing kind of is successful. You have some engineers and technicians that are basically making sure that the train is going, but they mostly sequester themselves towards the front train, the front car, right? You also have government officials, specifically U.S. government officials, who are essentially observing the way that this train voyage is going to go, because if it is super successful, the government might be inclined to invest in the infrastructure needed to create a very comprehensive rail transit.
Is our boy Bernie on the train?
Huh?
Is our boy Bernie on the train?
No, Bernie is also a scion.
Bernie's a scion.
He's very busy.
Incorrect. We said Elon Musk.
Is he a scion of Uncle Sam?
That does exist.
That does exist. Uncle Sam
I know.
does exist. So
That's why I'm asking.
I don't know, because I feel like Uncle Sam is a representation of like the militaristic arm of the country, which I don't think that Bernie would be super down to clown with Uncle Sam, or if anything, if he is the scion of Uncle Sam, then their relationship is strained.
It's okay. He's a demigod by this point. I mean, he's old enough.
That is true. Though you could become a scion at a very old age too. So I mean, that's always possible.
That's true.
You could get visited at a very old age, late bloomer. You know, late boomer.
Ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. So these government officials, that are their politicians and other officials of that nature that are essentially observing, making sure that it's a good ride. If it works, and that they're more inclined to help Ravi with government subsidies, federal money that can help expand the light rail, the speed rail. There's also private entrepreneurial type of people who are also invested, because maybe if they invest in it, they can invest in Ravi's company, they can get some serious dough. And this is sort of like the plan. This is the test run. This is all of the eggs are in the basket for Ravi in this situation for this train to go. So you have your federal, you have your government goons, and you have your private entrepreneurial goons, and then you have some influencers, some people who Ravi has invited to sort of build up social media hype, to sort of hype up the fact that this train, high-speed rail system could actually exist and could be functional, and it's fun to go on. You know, like sort of like, you know, don't take a plane, take the high-speed rail. You can move around, and there's parties, and there's, you know, things to do on the rail. It's much more different than a plane.
For hours on end.
Huh?
You don't have to get stuck in the airport for hours on end.
Yeah, I mean, like with layover and stuff like that, you might as well just kind of take in the train, right? So those are the types of people that are here on this train.
And I remember, right, I did like a little bit of a vibe check on everybody as they were coming in on the first day.
Right.
You know every
And
single person on the train.
I know who all's on the train, and I know that all the government officials are sus AF.
Yes, well, as all G-men tend to be, they are often very sus as fuck. But
Specifically towards this train, in
yes,
opinion.
they
don't want it to succeed.
Du Bois saw Joe Biden vent.
Mm-hmm.
They do, yes, you got the vibe that they are, as far as like the range of like wanting this to fail and wanting this to succeed, they are closer towards like that middle ground towards failure because of the skepticism, you know. And we can go and you can investigate further why they might feel that way, right? But that is kind of up to you guys. So I leave the floor to you as a team to discuss what you want to do, and maybe how you want to split your attentions across these plot hooks. Not plot hooks, no. That's...
What?
Started all these new plots at the end.
Was that a Freudian slip?
Yeah.
I mean...
That's why white guy blink memed.
These interesting characters whose stories will start and end here on this train.
Start and end. They're gonna die here.
No,
Yeah,
a lot of us need fate-bound people because we don't have them yet.
Blink.
Wonk. I know personally, I'm kind of torn between two things. So Du Bois is probably just going to take a look around his own car, and then look to other cars, and just in general try to get people to like participate in like the party that's going on, being like, hey, there's drinks over here at the bar, and like just a general like lighten up everything, specifically because persuasion lighten up is something I can do. I don't know.
So are you more inclined to try and get everybody to let loose and hope that the truth shall set you free?
I think it's a little bit more like he's looking for people that are specifically really anxious and tense, and trying to like ease them into like enjoying things with everyone else.
Okay.
Right?
Is there anything else, like along with everybody else? Play Jenga.
Thank you for reminding
Jenga?
Jenga.
Is that how Johnny did? Like, it was that Johnny's first try trying to pronounce Jenga, and everybody was just like, "Yes, Johnny, it's Jenga."
Yes. Probably.
Absolutely, you're correct. Does anybody? And again, your focus. Thank you, Caleb. By the way, points of interest is really the word that I was trying to find, and characters who are points of interest. But you do not have to necessarily investigate any of these points of interest. People of interest, because obviously we do have some other things that we need to get done in the midst of this train adventure too. So I just want to kind of get a sense of all of the things that you're kind of focusing your energies on for this first leg of this trip. Yes.
I know what I'm going to be doing. I do not know what Li Bao is going to be doing. But Jay
doing what you're doing.
Oh, so then he's helping me at the bar.
Well, more like doing you.
Then I guess I'm doing nothing.
This is not the appropriate time.
Guess I'm doing nothing then.
No, I'm just saying.
All right, Pillow Princess, like fucking.
No, so because I have leader.
Sure.
I have the knack called good listener.
Sure.
So if I work at the bar and play the bartender that gives advice and also listens to all your problems, when you make a casual conversation with a story guide character, that character will reveal information of an important detail that the leader is looking for, if they know it, before using this ability to tell the story guide what you're seeking. Anyone that seems to have ulterior motives, I guess, or motives that don't necessarily involve riding a train.
Got it. Okay.
If the story guide character doesn't know it, you immediately become aware that that character is not relevant to your quest.
That's really tough for a storyteller. Like, what if you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to say. And then like, oh, well, guess that storyteller character doesn't matter. Guy, you got me.
Yeah, even the most reluctant characters eventually opens up and reveals a clue. This power requires no roll.
There's shit like that in this
win,
game.
You're welcome, goodbye.
I win the game. I am a god now.
There are some things in the book that are just exactly like that, where they're just like...
It's like, I just talk and, I'm just listening, and then they just slip something. Well, maybe or maybe not, they're drunk. I mean, or that, or they could just tell me something really stupid. Like,
are you talking to Michael Scott at the bar? Like...
I'm assuming I'm going to be talking to a Scion and or a Titan Scion at some point. I'll leave that up to you, but that's basically what I would kind of like to do if Li Bao wants to kind of hang around.
Unless you want him to go do something different.
I feel like if Jay tells him to do that, he's going to be upset. Based off their recent argument.
Yes, it really depends on how you...
So I don't think Jay's going to do that. Jay will probably tell him to keep his eyes open. And to kind of like either let him know if there's something that seems weird, or probably to let Johnny know if there's something that seems weird. Because Johnny, you seem like outside of Wiley, and Wiley's too many cars away, you seem the most perceptive out of everybody. So.
Okay.
Perceptive in a you know where mischief is happening kind of way.
He has.
They're up to no good.
He has a mischief radar.
Yes.
Who needs to get out of your radar?
It's just the Sims like personality type, just mischievous.
That's relevant because Julian's playing Sims right now.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, it's been showing up.
Well, no, I just know that you're playing The Sims.
Like this one particular part of hair, whenever everything obfuscates, like that one points in the direction of mischief.
It's just the scorpion tail, just boing.
Wait, so like your scorpion tail was removed, but then you get like a little, we call it just like your little tiny scorpion tail hair. No, okay. It was funny.
Regardless,
we're working on reattaching the tail. That's for later.
That's the next legend point. Basically, if Li Bao sees anything that Jay doesn't seem to catch because he's in the middle of playing bartender,
see something, say something.
Yeah, to somebody. If it's not Johnny, whoever's available.
Okay, that he can do. that he can do is to give a look, and maybe he has his own vibe check, probably that is probably different from other people's vibe check, right? Like Johnny has, mischief is like, I know mischievous things are about ready. Chaos is about ready to happen, and I'm very excited, right? Mm-hmm. Liebout probably is just like, I don't like that guy. Why not? I just don't like him. That could be
just because.
He was looking at you too long, Jay. I don't trust him.
I don't think he's gonna say something. I think he's going to do something by that point.
God.
Anybody else? Again, I kind of want to know what the plan is for this first leg of the trip. Andromeda, Var, or Taylor.
Wiley is going to be Wiley's very on edge and probably will be this whole trip.
Sure. It is a big deal for you.
He's just making rounds and keeping an eye on the tracks, kind of just going back and forth.
So you'll be hanging out with the engineers?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Okay, so that'll be something that you'll probably be focused on a little bit. Again, like I said before, as a reminder, you'll still need to kind of do that fake death thing.
Yes.
So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind if that's not going to be your focus for this first leg of the trip. Okie dokie?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Andromeda, Var, what are we thinking?
I think that Johnny can basically send his kids spread them out between each car, and he can go back and forth checking if anyone's been being weird, being sus.
We're looking for some sus motherfuckers.
We're legitimately just
pretty much.
We're playing Among Us. It's fun.
I'm doing my
A
task.
train. Pretty much just trying to see if anyone's stalking around, being weird, throwing shady glances type.
Okay.
And if there's any a camera system in there, he wants to be in that room to make sure everything's good.
Not in any kind of. I mean, it is a high-tech train, but there isn't a security room on this train necessarily.
Okay.
It's surely there are cameras, but it's not going to be a security room, because that would take up valuable car space, right? And so if anything, it's probably a laptop that's in the front of the car, you know what I mean, than necessarily a huge big.
You could probably just ask Ravi if he can peer over his shoulder.
Yeah, Ravi is not going to be the one that's going to be doing any of that kind
Clever.
of tech stuff. But you can definitely hang out with maybe Wiley. He's doing a lot of pacing. And he's looking out towards the front window, right? Basically the front, to see if anything's happening over in the front. But you could be watching his back. You got his 6. Does that make it? But oh, that's cute. Parents.
No, that's my uncle.
Uncle.
I was gonna say, he looked completely different from your dad, who looks completely straight-laced.
It's just another dad. What are you talking about?
Uncles are just another dad. They're just the cooler one.
He is my godfather, so.
Or the grosser one. It depends on it's like a dice. It's a flip the coin. Is he on the microphone?
Mm-hmm.
He controls the mic now.
He's wrapped around it.
It's his branch.
Let him speak.
What does he have?
I want to hear what he has to say.
With his tongue.
Andromeda.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
This is a train. There are people working on this train.
Sure.
what kind of people are working on this train? Do we have people who are like going around kind of like waiter style? Do we have like the guy going around stamping everyone's ticket? Do we have like
no one has
janitor?
This isn't
Like,
one
what
of
do we
those
got?
like ticket situations.
Is there any
Yes,
hot
that's-
chocolate, perhaps?
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm posing this question to you. I'm like, do we have
Musical
the lady with the
numbers
trolley?
associated with
I was like, which is what kind of workers do we have employed on this
What
train?
the fuck is this? The fucking train at 9 3/4? We should make a Harry Potter game.
Pulls all
Did
my
you just
train
not
knowledge.
get
I already know
what
what
any
story
of
I'd
us are
run for it.
referencing? How?
Catch me not being there.
Yeah. Were you making
job,
a
Taylor.
reference to something else completely?
Yep. It just completely went over you. We were so confused. You're taking 9 3/4.
As far as the worker situation, like the employees that are working on the train, there is no ticket guy, because everybody who's on this train is essentially on it till the end.
They checked their ticket already. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. We're not picking anybody up along the way. There might be,
Which we've established, yeah.
yeah, there might be people that might step out during the stops and whatnot, but no one's gonna be doing, we're not gaining new passengers, we're not losing any passengers. Everybody's going straight from LA to New York.
Yep.
God, I just had the biggest brainest idea ever.
Can I finish first?
Yes.
Okay. As far as like people who are cleaning and giving food and stuff like that, a lot of the food there are workers that are basically serving, and there are people who basically have had to have been hired to run some of the train cars, like Jay's train or Du Bois's train, right? Because
Yep.
there are people who are serving drinks. There are people who have to clean the drink, clean stuff up. So there are people like that exist on this train. But again, minimal number, because the amount of people that are on this train are probably about 30 to 40 folks. Some named, some not. Just so you know. So enough to be able to run a train for that many people. This train, realistically, would probably be able to, have upwards of, like, maybe double the capacity of, like, a very big plane. Under normal, like, under ideal circumstances, which you've probably heard Ravi say, we can have up to, like, maybe 200 people on this train. Maybe more. So, we are a very, very small group of people. Okay.
What's your big brain idea, Julian?
No, I was just thinking about the poker chips, and like if someone took a poker chip to Omaha to check the space out before the train got there, and then you get back on the train.
Hold on,
Can
I'm
you
gonna,
get back on a moving?
I'm gonna
Go to
step
Philly.
out of the
It's
train.
moving. Like, can
No,
you?
no, the poker chips teleport you.
Yeah, but onto a. This is the conundrum of, does it teleport you to the spot or back onto the moving train?
Poker chips do two things. They either teleport you to your friend, so another person who has a poker chip,
Okay.
or they teleport you to your home base. Whatever is like your
That's why you go to the tree and then go.
whatever your registered home point is at the moment,
Where you saved your game last.
where you say
That's actually very interesting, Julian. That's a very interesting idea.
Or you could use Li Bao, because Li Bao can also teleport to the nearest art gallery.
liminal. Yeah.
See, the reason I'm posing this question to Jessie is because Leaf has unobtrusive visitor, and she can also send messages to anywhere.
Oh, that's fun.
So
It
I
just
was gonna
something that I
have.
thought of. I don't know if it's actually helpful or not. It was just something I thought
Yeah.
of.
No, yeah, but I was gonna have Leaf like be a wanderer on the train, in the background behind the scenes. But that's very interesting. But I don't know. Jesse might be like, guys, no, please, you're wasting your time. Do not fucking do that.
Why
Just
would
like,
I
please
say
do
any,
not.
Why would I say any of those things?
I don't know, because I don't know.
I have another weird question.
Sure.
We are supposed to be stopping in a few places, namely Omaha.
Omaha,
how long are
Philly.
we staying there?
Not
How long
long.
are we staying at each of the places?
Not
Like
very.
a pit stop.
It's like a pit stop. Basically, it's like a PR thing. You know, you stop there. People are like, "Oh wow, you got here
It's
so."
the hot dog truck.
You got here.
You look
so
at it and then it goes.
Fast. Y'all got
What?
here so
Okay.
fast.
Another possible idea. Could someone take Li Bao, just keep like jumping a mile ahead on the train track,
No.
seeing if something's going? We can't just keep jumping
No.
a mile.
You get hit by the train so fast.
He
So-
needs to go to an art gallery.
The train will pass you if it's
Li
just a mile.
Bao's ability is limited to only art galleries,
Okay.
and your poker chip ability
It's once per day.
once per
Okay,
day.
so it's
The
a
only
one.
thing that
Okay.
could theoretically do that is the tree, but we don't have full control of the tree yet to do that.
Okay.
to me.
This is where
Okay.
we already are realizing now how unbig brain some of our ideas are. One of our freaking train cars could have been an art gallery and it would have saved all of them.
I mean, doesn't Leaf's car count as an art gallery?
You have one painting, that's not a gallery.
You have one painting. It's the
I have
whole wall.
I have interchangeable murals. What about that?
Those are not art galleries, and you know it's
Fuck
not.
you, Jesse. What do you know about art?
Stretch any farther and you guys' arms will be taffy.
What are we, Stretch Armstrong? What is this, the 90s? Get the fuck out of here.
But
No,
it would have been.
that would have been a very big brain idea, is to make one of the cars an art gallery, and then Li Bao just jumps from art gallery to art gallery, constantly returning.
This is
back
how you
to
make
the home.
a wormhole, so I don't think we should.
Okay.
If
Is
you
that a thing we can do on accident?
I mean, electric cars do exist in this game.
They do.
Okay. Reeling the arm taffy back in. Do we think it would be valuable to us to send someone to Omaha or the pit station at Omaha, or do we think that would be a waste? And then we'd have like one less person on the train if shit goes down. Well, two less, I guess, because if we send someone with Li Bao, not just Li Bao.
It seems like you would be the one volunteering for that.
Yeah.
That's I
Based
know
on the
that's
lack of
100%.
response.
That's 100% fair. No, I'm
Because
completely
Wiley
fine
I'm
with
also
would
that.
wondering what good it would do.
It's a good idea to like scope out.
That's why I'm asking, do we think it's valuable or do we think it's not?
It's gonna be.
Because if we don't just send Li Bao, we're sending Li Bao and Leaf. So that's, we're either going to be down one person or two people. So it's just, do we think it's worth anything? Or, because I mean, either way, we'll get back on the train eventually. We just won't be on the train for that stretch.
Mhm.
No, no. If we're not supposed to be letting out or taking any people in, I feel like leaving the train without telling anybody is probably a bad idea. Because how fast the train moves, you might not be able to get
We're the
back.
security.
One,
And
two, three,
but the other issue that I know this is a stretch, and I and myself am stretching here.
Nothing is a stretch here.
But we have to consider the fact that there's a lot of contingencies here, and one of the contingencies is that what if by some chance whoever is trying to mess things up has shape-shifting ability. So if some of us leave the train, they could potentially shapeshift and come back. I know it's a stretch, but it's
I mean, but we're also stopping, so somebody can find a way to get off the train.
And there's gonna be more people coming onto the train regardless at Omaha, I believe.
No,
Any,
there's
No.
not?
you're
Okay.
not gaining any new passengers at
Okay.
every stop. You will still have the same number of passengers at each stop.
But it is an opportunity for stowaways.
I think this is, well, that's why we'd be sending people
That is
ahead
true.
to
Yeah.
You do,
Go.
You do have the potential for stowaways, and you also have the potential of, say, one of the people who leave, right?
going missing.
Going missing and being replaced.
there's
I
also
think
the fact
that's
that
a good
anybody
concern,
who leaves
Taylor.
for a scheme is not able to watch their car because they're gone. And that's free reign.
maybe it'd be
for
down two
anybody.
people.
I got some kids.
I mean, it's fine. It was just something that like popped into my head. We
Well,
we don't-
it
we
is a
don't
big
get
brain
into
idea,
it.
and that's why I'm asking that. But that's why we're discussing if it has merit or not.
I mean, Johnny's gonna be going back and forth between the
Mhm.
cameras and then the length of the train as he checks on his kids to see if like anything's happening.
I presume
Like-
that you guys as a whole will all have explored the length of the train in some shape or form throughout this first leg of the trip, which is only about 5 hours.
I guess the question is, if we sent people to the train's first stop, what would we want them to be looking for in particular? Like, what would we want them to be worried
Sabotage, anything wrong with the tracks, anything strange off in the distance, like a basilisk under the sand over there.
Any type of weird.
Oh shit!
I would not pull a basilisk on you guys again.
Maybe a cockatrice though.
Because okay,
It
also
felt like a cockatrice, I swear.
because I will also say, Leaf has a specialty in perceiving threats and research. Those are two different specialties that she has.
Ooh.
I mean, perceiving threats is good.
Perceiving threats
if we're trying to figure out what's happening.
Perceiving threats could be valuable also here on the train.
Yeah.
Especially if, say, like, Du Bois is trying to figure out who is too uptight, right? Or if Johnny is using the cameras to watch, you could be over Johnny's shoulder trying to perceive the threats that Johnny might not catch. You could also be assisting Wiley in perceiving threats by looking outside the fucking window. You know, like, they're I'm not saying don't teleport to Omaha. I'm saying
we're putting things on the table.
I'm saying that your skill set could also be useful in gaining that intel, because if the person who is going to sabotage the train, if they are already here, right, you can figure that out now. And, you know, or if they are going to be sabotaging the train outside of the train, then you have people who are looking, right? Who are looking outside the window. Because you could say, well, what if they sabotage the train in Omaha? Right, but what about all the stops in between? You know what I mean? We're going through stretches of desert. They could be anywhere, theoretically. Again, not saying specifically that that's a bad idea, but you have the fact that yes, Omaha is going to be the first quote unquote stop, but it's 5 hours to get to Omaha. And that's going through Las Vegas, that's going through Green River, that's going through Denver. So you're going through these major cities too. You're just not stopping at them.
Okay, I think if we don't have any major concerns about the stop, then we should just keep everyone on the train. So then, so I think Leaf is going to take on an obtrusive visitor, and just kind of I mean, they're just supposed to blend into the background. Like, they look like someone who's supposed to be there.
You are supposed to be there. That makes it extra helpful.
Yes. I probably just don't look like I have a fucking ghost now.
You're just a blurry face. It's fine.
You're the wallflower that's like lurking and pressed against the wall, watching people dance.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, this is something I can do. Can I I don't know, do I have to be present for this, or can I have one of the abilities that the party animal has is to generally increase people's opinion of me specifically? Could I have the party animal playing the music in my car at the party animals thing, just to liven the party in that area while I'm going around doing my talking and trying to lighten people up? I know it's like a side thing, but
I have a very funny idea for that.
Go for it, you know.
If you want that to be the case, then yeah, but also realize that you can only use your guide pretty much once per session. You can invoke your guide.
I feel like making him be the musician sounds like a good use of my guide.
So I want to point that out to you, so that way you know that in case something else happens and you need him, you are invoking him for this particular part and not like a later part. So if those are his skills, then it probably makes sense to use it for the social aspect of this problem than necessarily the potentially physical one later.
Yeah, so it says I can shift the target's attitude toward you by 1 in whichever direction you choose, even if you've already succeeded. So I guess that would have to be in the middle of a check, right? That wouldn't be like a retroactive thing. I can't do that now and be
He's
like,
shifted.
make everybody know it's a party.
I mean, he could. I don't think it's gonna like. It would basically when you roll your dice to try and lighten the mood, he's going to assist you by making it so that when you do your persuasion check or whatever you're doing, that that the attitude on you has been already shifted.
Cool.
So that's kind of essentially what that would be. So, Andromeda, are you going to be at Du Bois's car?
I think I'm taking laps. If everyone is sort of stationary, I think Leaf is going to be walking through the cars back and forth.
Then you're going to be the person that the camera is going to technically be following this time as we go through our cars. And we start from the back, which is where your car is. The cry room, which for some reason, every time you see the door open, and somebody might have just like kind of meandered in from the kind of car that's right in front of your...
It's just Darude Sandstorm.
It's
They
just-
play nothing else.
It's just Darude Sandstorm playing on repeat. And at first you were like, man, is this Darude Sandstorm playing a second time, or is Darude Sandstorm really long?
Really this long, yeah.
That's basically what your brain was saying.
It's both.
Does Leaf's car have an onion-scented air freshener? Unfortunately, it's not just like, you cried, I got you. It's, you have to have somebody, they have to cry about the specific story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just on loop on the speaker.
The onion set just helps.
It's just playing in the arms of the angels in that car. Everyone's just really confused when they enter that car.
Basically,
they just turn right back around.
it's a lot of cognitive dissonance. There's a lot of dissonance happening.
All I know that you'll get some legend for the car being fucking weird.
Yeah, they just walk in and they're like, man, I feel terrible.
And they immediately turn around.
As they should.
They immediately, like, about face, go back into the fun room. And maybe every time you open you hear the sliding door, you might like sit a little bit more upright at the very back, because the goal is like for them to walk through, have the full experience.
They just turn around.
And then they see you, and then they're like, man, you must be fucking, it's your story, it's you, whatever. It's not working the way you imagined it. Right? They just go right back around, weirded out by the whole experience, and just dip back in. So maybe your brain is just like, maybe I should just invite people to the car.
Maybe I should find
Come to my
influencers that
depression
take
car?
advantage of sad people to come back
Hey,
here.
do you want to have a bad time?
Film their apology videos in your car.
Perfect.
So sorry that I had to make this video. I didn't even want to.
I didn't think I'd have to come to this.
So that is definitely, so that maybe that's the first thing that comes to mind. Hey, I could just invite people to the back car, and then I'll get more people to cry, right?
I'm crying right now, so I'm laughing so
This
hard.
is really funny. Also, because no one's visiting, your brain is just like, I'm very lonely here, and I might start crying. You know what I mean?
I actually have someone to talk to. I don't have someone to talk to right now.
Well, to be fair, you've been spending the last since we last seen you, you've spent most of your time alone.
Is Leaf the first person that I find while I'm looking for sad people?
Give me that roll. What is it? The lighten up roll.
Oh my God.
So let's do it this way, just like the cheat sheet says. So it says I pick the arena, you pick the approach, and then we roll the relevant skill. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I am feeling saucy, I would say it would be a mental skill to see if you can observe somebody who is feeling sad so you can help them lighten up. So now you need to pick the approach, right? So you got power, finesse, and resilience is the row. So what approach would you like to do?
I think I'm going to use finesse, go for cunning.
All right, so cunning is going to be our attribute, and I believe the skill should probably be empathy. Or wait, lighten up. What's lighten up under?
Lighten up is persuasion.
Persuasion. So you haven't been able to convince them to lighten up yet because you haven't found them yet. So you need to use your empathy check to kind of find the people who are sad, and then you can use your persuasion to help them lighten up.
Is finding somebody who's sad a vibe check thing or no?
I would say yes, it could be a vibe check. So I'll give you a +1 enhancement to your vibe check's specialty.
How do I denote that before I roll?
You just roll the dice and then roll one more d10 on top of that, please.
Okay.
So we got 3 successes. Roll again.
Oh, okay.
Because you got a 10. Woo. So we got 5 successes to find people who you think are feeling sad. The most obvious person is the person who has awkwardly opened the sliding door in the back of your car and is stepping out of the car. You have been seeing people step out, go in, and step out almost like that. Pretty quick, during the short amount of time that this party has started. But this time, it is not somebody who was coming from your car over. It's somebody that you haven't seen yet in a while. You'll see Leaf coming out. But in addition, you will see one of the influencers who is kind of looking a bit sad, mostly because you believe that they have been striking out as far as along the social skills right now. If you catch my meaning, they've been striking out a bunch.
Question: do I recognize the influencer at all?
John Paul. Shit, Jake Paul.
John Paul.
John Paul.
It's just this version. It's this world's version.
It's John Paul II. It's just the Pope. He's somehow alive again.
You know what, Caleb?
He never died because he turned into a demigod.
The Pope is an influencer.
That is a better name than I could have ever made, Caleb. So that's who you see, guys. You see Tandy Reynolds.
Tandy?
Not John Paul?
Tandy Reynolds, fashion guru and girl boss, who creates YouTube vlogs about their travels.
But they're ASMR.
When I say the word
ASMR.
But they are also ASMR videos. It's a lot of genres.
Do they
So
have
here
videos
we can-
about going to Asian islands and taking advantage of the
To Bali.
power gap?
Hopefully not.
They go to Bali. No, they are a fashion guru, which means that a lot of times where they travel, so it's fashion and travel. So they will go to different places and wear the clothes of the area. Sort of go shopping at the different clothing areas, and sort of show off that kind of get ready with me, dress with me, and stuff like that. Girl boss, mostly because she is selling her own merchandise line of.
It's an MLM.
It's not an MLM. It's her special. It's special water. It's
So it's an MLM, right?
it's special water that's supposed to make your hair thicker and more voluminous.
So
It's
MLM.
Nestle, but specifically the water taken from people who own it. It makes your hair better because the suffering.
Curiosity by Tanny. I'm gonna kill your ass, Caleb. Stop it.
This is I'm writing it all down because this is so much better.
Fuck!
I like this a lot, so this is what we're going with. Curiosity by Tandy. That's her girl boss MLM.
There's a shirt that says, "What's my favorite position? CEO." That's it. That's my funny for the night. See you guys next episode.
The thing is, I've been watching a bunch of like anti-MLM videos, and it's
Oh my god, I love
Just
some of
Illuminati.
those. So much fun.
I've been watching Illuminati.
Yes.
I've been watching a Resident Evil 8 gameplay, so I don't know what the hell you guys are on.
I've been watching CC something.
Well, you should be watching Tandy Reynolds, all right?
I do.
Wait, can her name be Tandy McCarty Reynolds? Like the picture of the white mom with the
But how
black
do you
board?
spell it?
Please.
Yeah, how do you spell it?
McCarty.
No, I made
There's not like an extra E in there?
No, I made it worse. Tandy McCartey Reynolds. McCarteigh.
Oh, I hate this character. I hope she dies. Huh?
Has been
Sorry,
striking out on the dance floor. She is a bisexual queen. But she is
Shut the fuck up.
She has definitely been striking out mostly because
Don't slander the bi community like this.
look, there are trash fires in the LGBT community, okay?
I know.
Like,
Oh, don't send me Lakeland.
She's doing
Haley,
the dance from
McCarty,
the Menage a Bliss, where it's
Navy, Bailey, and Lakeland.
nobody likes it.
McCartey. It's Tandy McCartey Reynolds.
And like obviously, their whole branding is around weird spellings of their middle name.
No, she can't be self-aware.
She can't be self-aware. She's a completely and 100% genuine.
None of the MLM people are self-aware anyways,
Yeah.
so like...
They're like, we're a shill. Buy our stuff.
Wow, I can't believe gay men would do this.
Anyway, so that's that,
What?
and she's not
MLM.
men loving men.
Fucking hell.
Don't worry, Taylor.
It's right there.
Don't worry.
It's Pride, guys.
It is right there.
My goal is to make
Low-hanging
every
fruit.
single character, every single NPC that I've named on this train, they're gonna be some form of LGBT.
Even the G-men?
Even the G.
Does that just mean they're gay men?
We have enough of those.
No.
They're all dating. It's a polyamorous relationship.
You'll find out why everything
is that how the Republicans do it?
You'll find out why it's gay, okay? You'll find out why it's gay.
Because it's Pride Month, duh.
It is Pride Month, but I made this was my goal, all right? This train adventure is supposed to be funny.
Because Rob is
Anyway.
an LGBT fracking icon.
Yes.
Like RuPaul.
You know, like I keep getting distracted, but like that, there's that one picture of like people in the Middle East, and they're just like they're saying that the next bombs they drop are gonna be from a woman. It's like, oh, it's so great to be part of history.
Wow,
And
girl bosses.
That's horrible.
I have a question
Yeah.
really quick. Can we have an influencer group that is a polyamorous relationship with a group of people that just makes a what's it called, a BLT? It's the
BLT.
three of them, and that's their brand.
That's their
BLT.
brand.
Yeah.
Wait, but that wouldn't work.
No, you can have a poly relationship, and it's a
Oh,
You
true.
know, it's a
BLT.
V.
Ben, Laura, and Tandy. We're gonna get Tandy with some. We're gonna put
Andy's
Tandy in
trans. Wait, no, they're not even LGBT. It's like that band of those three girls that weren't even like.
It's not fucking T for trans.
Anyway.
It's T for Tandy.
T for Tandy.
Bye, lesbian Tandy.
Okay, I'm glad that the energy has returned.
Sorry.
Taylor is back. Taylor has
Thank
woken
you.
up. It's funny. I'm sorry. Are we making gay jokes? I'm in.
This is what happened at work yesterday.
Everybody
The
was,
same exact thing.
everybody was making gay jokes at work, and you're like, I'm awake now.
We're
Exactly.
gonna have 3 whole conversations in this session.
Okay.
At least I'm here.
I know you're not going to
jeez.
necessarily focus on Tandy yet. I'm just letting you know Tandy is there. She's striking
Tandy
out.
exists.
She's She's bummed out.
Now that we've developed this character, ignore her.
Yes.
Never come back to her.
She's bummed out, so if you want
I'm going to leave.
Yes. Better choice. Better choice.
Better choice because
You
she'll
have-
put you into the
You
IRM.
have two options.
Maybe you can introduce Leaf and
There's
Tandy.
Leaf, like, right at the door, and then Tandy's, like, crying 5 feet away. I have to walk past Tandy and, like, ask her to move while
You
she's
push.
crying.
No.
You
You push Tandy out of the way.
Move,
her
I'm
out-
gay.
You look like you're coming in for a hug, and then you shove her to the side.
Push her out of the way because she's starting her sales pitch to recruit you.
You say fuck you and you go.
Oh, no. I'm just gonna, like,
Speak
I'm
the
gonna
pun.
have the wine in my hand and I'll be drinking it, and then Tandy will start talking to me about a business pitch, and I just start drinking more of it as I walk faster.
You just hand
No,
it
you
last
put
to her.
the drink
just like,
on
yeah.
her.
Anyway, so Leaf, you have Du Bois on coming towards you. What do you guys say to each other before as far as like, do you need help?
Is something wrong or hi?
Like one of the 2 people in this car having a bad time, so I thought I'd see what's up.
No, that's just normal for me.
Exactly
just
why I
look
would
like
come and
this.
see what's up. What's wrong?
My sister is dead, and now I have to go on journey to make her be whatever she is supposed to be, whether that is, afterlife or with me. And that is very hard and upsetting.
I'm imagining that Du Bois is like leaning against the wall and slowly sliding down the wall as Leaf is talking.
I like how also Du Bois is like, what's getting you down? My sister's dead. And all this, everything else is just like.
I think Du Bois is gonna like gesture with the chalice and his handful of wine and be like, "Oh, it sounds like you need a drink. Wait, how old are you?"
We had this conversation. I cannot.
I've
no.
drank since then.
No, I'm not legal. No.
Okay. So that sounds like a lot to deal with. Have you talked to anybody other than me who directly asked you about that?
Jay?
So what I'm getting here, not to interrupt again, is Du Bois like, great problem, but why the fuck why me?
Why tell me?
Has anyone
it's
else
more like,
given a
it's more like
shit?
just asking like if they've been dealing with this just on their own, or if they've talked with you guys and like shared that,
I've talked with Jay about it the most, I think, but the others know because we were trapped in tank together for 9 days on way to hell to save Johnny's Street. It was a thing a year ago.
Was it a highway?
Kind of long stretch of empty. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, not to detract from the statement, but I don't know. I'm a weird individual when it comes to sad stuff. Like, I'm usually of the mind of like, just because stuff's bad doesn't mean you can't have a good time. So that's why I thought I was coming and asking people. But it seems like the 2 people that do have problems, one is making problems for themselves, and the other is a lot harder to deal with.
Is she crying?
I don't know. I think that might just be her laugh, but
I was waiting for it. Thank you. I didn't want to have to do it.
you can never really tell.
It's kind of weirdly harshing the vibe, but also kind of funny.
Yeah. So,
yeah, okay. She's scary. Okay.
Well, on a different note, I suppose. has anything strange happened over here in your cart? Every single time I see somebody walk in, they immediately walk out. What's up with that?
I think it upsets them. I mean, it's meant to be upsetting, but maybe should have edged them into it. I don't.
Oh, so we're edging in here. Yeah, okay, buddy.
It's dark enough in there.
Du Bois is gonna like reach around Leaf and like open the door to the other car and like walk in just to like see what it's like in there.
It's like that thing in
roll for
cartoons.
me.
Open it.
Roll
Dark around
for
music.
Harsh are the fucking vibes in there.
Roll for me a. This is gonna be an integrity skill check. We need a mental. We need actually a social one. No, mental.
To not be knocked down by the depression.
Resolve.
Resolve integrity, please. Let's see how well Jay's artwork conveys the sadness.
Oh, it conveys it immediately because of my artistry.
Now we gotta see if he's gonna cry.
Does he have tear ducts?
I rolled a 0.
This is sad.
You didn't even roll.
Oh my
anything
god,
with
you got the
shooting.
first person to cry. Congratulations.
It was a 3, 2, and 2, so yeah.
It was a drunk person.
First person to cry.
You'd think my art would get a lot of people to cry.
Yeah, but they just like
They have to stay long
they
enough
have
to
to
look
stay
at it.
long enough to look at it. They just kind of go and they're like, "Oh, is this the broom closet?" And then just fucking leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So can you do me a favor and just like explain like everything that I'm like witnessing that is leading towards immediate?
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you Leaf's life story really quick.
I can simplify it.
So we're not here for 20 minutes.
So we're not here for 20 minutes, but imagine a very sad montage of a circus performer, specifically 2 circus performers. Well, they are freak show, right? You were in a freak show, right?
I was a freak show. I still am.
Right.
fine.
So we're talking like classic circus freak show horror, right? Probably you can imagine that there was sort of exploitation being done on this young set of twins who are conjoined at the hip. And their story is such that they were part of this circus, and they did everything together. There was again, joined at the hip, both physically and metaphysically, if you will. And when I say joined at the hip, I mean joined at the hip and the shoulder. Like they basically shared a torso and a chest, right? But at the age of 18, we have a choice being made. A big snip, if you will, was being made by choice. And it's not clear in the drawing or in the paintings if it was something that was wanted by both or wanted by one. Right? Because it's not 100% clear on Leaf's part. Leaf didn't want it, right? But Leaf did it because her sister wanted it.
Are we able to tell in the picture which one of them is which?
Well, Leaf has a right arm, so.
True.
Yeah.
So then, does it, when you say you're not able to tell if they both or if it's just one, is it's for the other one that wants them separated?
It would be Theta, right? Theta?
Mm-hmm.
That seems to want it, and Leaf says yes, but again, saying yes and feeling like you want it is totally different. That's what I mean by the unsure. It's not clear.
Mm-hmm.
There is a high chance of failure in this surgery, and they go with it. the surgery does not go well. And Hell arrives to promise Theta life. Theta says no. And Theta gives her life and essentially Hell's boon of being a scion to Leaf. Hell takes Theta, spirits her away, if you will, and Leaf is alone. And Leaf decides to travel to Hell to try and return her, to get her sister back. Hell doesn't give her back. Hell instead demands that, to convince her that this story is so sad, essentially, that it is worth giving Theta back, by making the entire world cry over her loss. And that's the end, because it shows Hell basically saying, at the end of the car is Hell saying that. And it sort of implies that as you go down the whole cart, that when Hell says the whole world must cry in order to bring her back, theoretically, the person should start crying at that point, right? Because this is sad.
Yeah, and it just happens. I've rolled poorly, so it just happens. I don't think he will, at this, with a 0, he probably won't even be able to say anything. It's just going to be crying, right?
Yeah, but I will say that we also gain a momentum because you fail, so. Cool.
I think it was an appropriate moment to fail, to not cry.
Oh my, are you awkwardly.
I feel like
with
this is probably
the
a good
real
point
arm.
to move on to somebody else and their actions while this is happening.
Pat.
The last words you hear is, "I need a drink."
Well, there's another one.
All right, 1 out of 7 million. Got it.
Mm-hmm. You can add it to the checklist.
Debatably 7 million. If you're counting people.
You mean 7 billion?
Yeah, I was about to say
a million.
Said million.
Oh, 8 million, 8 billion.
Yeah. So, who's next on the list of people doing things at this time?
Oh, right. Well, as awkward, Du Bois needs a drink to kind of get that tears gone, and you realize that making people cry is really awkward, and you don't like that feeling, and you also don't want to be there when people are crying. So
Maybe my presence was the off-putting part of it. I'm off-putting, apparently.
I mean, you are.
Maybe if I leave, the car will work.
You kind of are a little off-putting.
No, I'm aware. It's fine.
Hey, but that's not a bad idea. Maybe if you go to the front where the cameras are, you can hover over Johnny's shoulder, see a camera that's pointed at your car, and you can watch the people cry and tally them away. You won't be there, and people might cry more. Because, yeah, you are a very off-putting human being. When somebody said, "Why are you so sad?" you just answered, "My sister's dead." That's just kind of really awkward. So off you go into the next. You
gotta lead into it.
Yeah.
With what?
Your life story. You don't
That
just
is
say
my life story.
You just don't say the end.
You say, "I'm sad. I'm just bummed out. I'm okay. I'm just
not.
Well, it all started at the circus, and then there's your intrigue.
I'm just thinking about my time at the circus." Whoa, you were in the circus?
That still happens?
Hook 'em. hook 'em, and then you lead them into my sister's dead. Anyway, so you go to the next car because, gosh, all this dancing is really awkward, and you're pretty sure Tandy is staring at you, thinking that your hair looks maybe a tad bit too flat, and if you just had some water, you definitely would get a little bit more volume in that hair. But she strikes out once again as you walk off and go into the Dragon Bar.
I hear her sobbing behind me as I go.
She missed a VIP member, Sam.
Just unfortunate. You know, you could have had an opportunity if you just paid in, you know, another...
And an accepting, loving community.
A wonderful, loving community. All you need to do is buy in $500 and you get your selling kit. Anyway, so here you go into the Dragon Bar where Jay is running the bar, and you are using your what was the knack again?
Unobtrusive visitor.
I'm using Good Listener, but I would also use Grand Entrance.
But you're already at the bar, right?
Yeah, it would be when I make my first impression. So whenever I decide to work my shift.
Well, I'm assuming now is you're working your shift right now.
Yeah.
So you want to do a grand entrance to see if you can. That raises the attitudes, right?
It grants me +1 enhancement on all social roles made towards the individuals I am making my first impression to till the end of the session.
Okay, so who would you like to be making your impression to? I will say that you probably have influencers, government officials, and business folk equally. So who do you want to kind of focus your influence on? So like, who do you want to make a good impression to? So therefore, when you do your good listener, you're getting information from that specific type of person.
The problem is I can't know that because I don't know which of those story guide characters are worth talking to. Until I do good listener.
Okay, so, but it says like you have to pick a person to have a good impression with, right?
For a grand entrance, I roll my knack skill. On a success, the target remembers you favorably.
So it's a general roll for if.
So is it a roll, right?
Yeah, I have to roll a knack skill.
So a knack skill would be a roll that's going to essentially leave a good impression, right? So I would say that it's definitely going to be a social one. You have to pick the approach, the row.
We'll go with culture.
And would you say that it's like you want people to trust you, maybe?
Then that would be empathy.
It could be empathy or integrity, right?
Oh, fuck you. I don't have very good integrity.
Okay, empathy. I was just kind of like, you want to give people the good impression that you're listenable, that you're honest, that you listen, and then when you have your good listener on for that specific person, then it'll work.
Sure. Sounds good. So we're going with presence and empathy. Only 2 successes.
And it's supposed to just raise the attitudes again?
Yeah, it gives me a +1 enhancement on all social roles.
That'll be a +1 enhancement. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's totally fair. And you will see Leaf kind of come in as you are working the floor. So now with this knowledge, you do have there are 2 of the government bodyguard agents that are off shift, essentially, enjoying the bar. You will have another one of the influencers that are there also kind of enjoying the sights, taking a lot of Insta photos with all the cute decor, right? Using the appropriate hashtags, you imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have one of the business folk that are notable that has been observing and kind of enjoying the space for what it is worth.
Which one of them does Lee Bao not like?
Oh, he hates feds.
So the G-Men?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll focus on them.
Okay. Hold on. Just writing something really quick. Okay. The two in the short amount of time that you have sat with these folks, right? You've come to, they only call each other by their last names. And one of them is Agent Reed.
Okay.
And the other one is Agent Verde.
Okay.
And they are one of 7 agents that are on this train.
Okay.
And it's just an auto success, right?
Basically, what happens is that throughout the course of casual conversation, they reveal information or an important detail that the leader is looking for.
Well, I guess, what's the line of questioning that we're going to go with? How are we going to do this? How are we going to roleplay this?
Jay's the good cop, Lee Bao is the bad cop.
Well, I mean, Jay's just making the drinks. So Jay is just playing the role of the bartender right now. You know, just getting them what they need. If they have anything they need to say, you know, Jay will kind of play into the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I want to role play the conversation a little bit, right? I just want to know, how do you start your line of questioning to get you the information that you want?
Okay. I guess while he is in the middle of serving them whatever drink that they're looking for,
you'll know that Agent Reed, who is a woman, is looking for a cosmopolitan, appropriately red, almost like her name. And then Agent Verde wants an appletini.
Okay.
Or a similarly green drink.
Color appropriate drinks.
Yes.
Jay will kind of set them down. He'll smile, and he'll say, "It seems that you're kind of buying into the whole color theme too. My drink's blue."
Agent Reed will say, "Oh, Prussian would like that."
Are these like kind of like code names? It kind of has like an Ocean 11 vibe. Or like a Reservoir Dogs. More Reservoir Dogs.
Verde, who is sort of a larger masculine figure with short cropped hair, will laugh and say, yeah, they call us the Rainbow Crew.
Oh my god. Happy Pride.
Okay.
Me over here, the 7 deadly sins or some other shit, Jesse. The Rainbow Pride Group.
Yeah, right.
Well,
it fits better for the
if you
7
ask,
deadly sins.
If you ask, since they're not against, because you'll probably hear their names anyway. If you ask what their names are, you have Agent Reed, red. Agent Sienna. Agent Limon. Verde. Prussian. Imperial. And Lavender.
These bitches gay. Good for them.
These are the most like unofficial government official names I've ever heard in my life.
I love it.
Jay's very
Guys,
it's like totally
Jay's
undercover, not undercover name.
Yeah, he's like very confused by their name choices.
It's like hilariously obvious.
Yeah.
But it's like obviously fake, but they seem to enjoy these names.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say it might be a mantle,
Sure, yeah.
but mortal, I guess, like...
Yeah, and I think, like, I guess, like, because I think as the role of the bartender, you don't stick to talk to them, really. So, you know, he'll kind of come and go as they're talking.
Sure.
And then, I guess, like, if he's doing a refill on drinks or whatever, he'll go, so, is this a part of the American government agency that you're a part of, or is it kind of something more interesting?
Again, because this doesn't fail. Stupid thing doesn't fail.
You mean I just don't have to roll?
You just don't have to roll for it. It just happens. Reed, who probably has had too many Cosmos.
Who's not going to be able to pick up her next shift?
Yes, probably not. It's too fun here. It's way too fun. Reed will sort of laugh and giggle, and you can get this impression that Reed is not only the fiery one, but also the vivacious one, appropriate for the color. She will say that they are strictly American. It's the business folk that are foreign.
Okay.
With not necessarily disdain, more like distrust. Just because foreign officials or foreign anybody on U.S. soil, you got that natural paranoia. You know what I mean? I know we're in a very globalized society in our Scion game, but there's still people who are a little bit, you know...
It's probably not best to say that to the Chinese/Japanese/dragon that's sitting in front of them.
I mean, they don't necessarily know all of that.
Lord, they can see what I look like and they can see my horns.
I mean, sure, yes, but it could also be part of the theme.
Sure.
It's a part of the bit.
It's a bit, right?
Sure.
It's a dragon bar. There's a whole bunch of, like...
There's a fucking dragon right there. It's a bit.
Makes sense. Totally logical.
Sure. Okay. You'll find out that bit of information. Find it odd and slightly racist, for sure. He'll kind of, I guess, do his rounds again. He'll see Leaf,
Just
Leaf come in.
Coming in, probably still looking sad.
He sets a glass of water down in front of you. It's not thick water. It's not thick water. It's regular water.
Oh, thank you.
That water better have a low viscosity.
You alright?
I don't know if I like making people cry.
Oh, so you're having self-awareness.
Jesus. Jesus, Jay.
He is still virtuous. I have not been able to talk to my people yet.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
That's a good thing. No.
No.
It is a good thing. Like, he says that, he kind of holds up like a taloned finger, and then he takes a shot. Puts it... Sets his drink down.
Are you supposed to be drinking on job? Oh, never mind. Du Bois is. Never mind.
Probably not.
Du Bois is definitely drinking on the job.
And kind of like he leans over to you and kind of like gently tilts his head towards the agents. They're just kind of just saying some things that are just a little aggravating, but I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. They haven't even tipped me yet. Not that money.
I was gonna say, like, not that you need it.
It's just a matter they haven't done it yet. But it's fine. I'm just trying to find any... Have you found out any information? I haven't gotten anything good yet. Well, if if you want to interrogate the Rainbow Crew, kind of just
What?
That's what they call themselves. They might be Power Rangers in disguise. I don't know.
No, isn't that a gay thing?
Well, it's for the government agents, so
Oh, so not then. Okay.
you don't know that.
No, America does not care for. Yeah, no.
We're trying to change that. I know we're like a couple decades behind, but we're trying to change it. So they could be. You don't know. They're just rude and racist.
Oh, so.
Oh
Great.
my god.
Still.
Sounds American.
Not any better.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
sounds very, very American.
Yeah.
Do you want to include your line of questioning and maybe, because you can still ask a few questions. I'm sure you haven't gotten what you wanted to learn. What did you want to learn?
No, they're just supposed to just tell me through casual conversation.
Okay, but I guess what do you want to learn again? What's the goal?
I'm trying to suss out, if it's relevant information, if there are individuals who are more interested outside of what they are supposed to be doing there.
So I guess you want to know more about their boss? Question mark?
No, I'm more interested in learning about their own personal agendas as opposed to why ever else they're there. If there is a personal agenda.
Okay.
And if that is a, I'm not even supposed to say exactly what it is. I'm just supposed to find out
I guess
an important detail that the leader is looking for. Sus. Who is sus? Is yellow sus? No, I'm sorry. Is green sus?
Is green and red sus?
Green and red sus.
Green and red, which we can just call them by the actual colors because they are a Roy G. Biv group. As far as green and red, what you get from them is red is kind of just kind of rude and yeah, maybe a little bit racist. You know the kind. Just sometimes it just comes out. Not to say that they're not when I say a little bit racist, I mean they are 100% racist, but it comes out in little chunks.
She's drunk on Cosmos.
Yeah, and it's not cool. But you get a feeling from the conversation, either idle conversation that you hear kind of from as you're talking to Leaf or as you're passing by. I'm not saying race
They're not woke.
They're here's the thing. They're racist against scions.
Ooh.
Who is? Hold on, what?
So you're getting a sense that at least Red and one of the officials that they are watching, their issue is not necessarily the train. Their issue is scions.
The people running it.
Okay.
And you get the sense that as far as one of the government officials is concerned, they're concerned about the power that scions, or at least the newly, visited and the scions that are currently growing right now, he's worried about their power gain and how that power can be leveraged against mortal governments.
Aren't they already doing that?
What?
That's what I thought. Scions and gods were already affecting mortal governments.
Right, but they are not cool with that.
Interesting.
This particular official is not particularly keen on that and has issues with that.
Okay. can I roll something to see if they are just annoyed at all scions, or are they just annoyed at god scions?
You're like, are they Titan racist or are they Scion racist?
Well,
is it
or are they just scion racist in general?
Generally speaking, a god is not going to have direct influence on a government. Rarely. Usually they work.
Scions are.
Usually they work through either their own scions, or the scions themselves are using their powers to influence and push things in a certain direction, or whatever. If a god is influencing a government, they are doing it through a scion. So like Amaterasu, right? Mm-hmm. She is directly she's directly related to the imperial, the line of the emperor, right? Like her children,
her and Susanoo.
Her and Susanoo's children are the royal line, but her influence on that royal line is usually through guides. It's usually through, followers and stuff like that. It's not the god themselves, it's the power that they enact on the world to push their agenda if they have an agenda.
Okay, so it's just gods. It's just scions in general.
Scions in general. It's a blanket statement. Okay. They are not this particular government official that is on this train to observe the train situation is not keen on scions and the power that they wield to influence government decisions.
On that note, go ahead.
I was going to try to see if I can roll a persuasion to see if I can get the name of said government official.
On that note, this might not work because they might not be in the train, but innately, Leaf can see into the heart of others, yada yada. If you observe someone who has a bond towards another character present in the scene, I can tell it exists. So I'm just wondering if I'm seeing
a bond between the agents and somebody else in this room?
Yeah, or the other agents, whoever their boss is. Yeah.
No, it seems like of the people that are here, Reed and Verde are the only ones in the Dragon Bar right now. Again, there are 11 cars, and their bond is they have a bond to each other as co-workers, right? That makes sense. And then the string of fate, the bond that because Jay, you can probably still see the strings of fate, correct?
Yes, especially when I see two people that are connected.
Yes, so red and green are connected, and their strings of fate sort of fade off into the next
other cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I were to follow the red string of fate, would I find possibly the government official?
Yes, but you also will probably figure out that, as Reed sort of talks shit, right? Reed is sort of talking shit about science because she feels the same way or similar. She thinks it's an unfair advantage.
I'm gonna use blurt it out on her.
I was gonna say, we both have blurted out.
Like, you can do it. You can do it instead.
I mean, you have a relationship with them.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Blurted out.
Okay.
Blurted out is that they speak their own passions, right?
You overwhelm a character with a sudden burst of emotion. They exclaim without realizing it, unwittingly vocalizing whatever they are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who hears it gains an enhancement 3 on assessing the attitude, actions,
or other social roles. This is just going to be a weirdly rude thing for her to say out loud.
Oh no!
But I was going to say, you can figure out from the conversation that Senator Davidson is the person who is slightly against scions and their rise to power. As in Harley Davidson? No, but that's also very good.
Excellent.
Senator Davidson is the name, and Reed will blurt out basically, it's not fair that they have all this power and they like to use it. One day they're just gonna rule over all of us. Watch.
I mean, that does potentially sound like a problem. Yeah, especially if you have the wrong people with the wrong intentions. But I guess the question is, how would you go around it?
Well, we should just get rid of them.
That's kind of hard.
No one said it was going to be easy.
I guess, I mean, you could just say that you want to get rid of them all, but I mean, that is, it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, you know?
Well, what can I do? I'm just immortal, right?
You can't really get rid of something if you don't have a plan. Unless you guys are all suddenly gonna, stop worshipping at once.
And Green will laugh. Verde will laugh. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. And try and talk about how, it's not all bad necessarily, right? Sure, there are scions that will destroy a lot of stuff in their acts to save people, right? And they'll use their powers for mischief and chaos, but a lot of good still comes from it. He'll explain, we wouldn't have won World War II without scions. And sort of go into like the historical part of Scion, which is all in first edition Scion, by the way, guys. I've already told you about it in the background and in the meta, but kind of goes in and talks about that. And that's kind of what you get that's kind of what you were looking for, correct, Julian?
Yeah, I was trying to find people who are sus. I don't really know if that helps me with the grand scheme of things,
can you figure out what Davidson's opinion on?
I'd have to go find out.
You'd have to find him.
To be fair, I just want to use Entropic Eye on him.
Du Bois knows everyone on the train, but I don't know if he knows he doesn't know the name of everyone on the train. He just knows faces.
He has not forgotten the faces. But that is so that's basically telling you that, as a summary, right, not only does Ravi have to worry about maybe Titanic influence that could ruin this train ride, but also human interference. And you know that because Du Bois recognized that the government officials were more on the skeptical side of whether or not this train voyage was going to be successful. They were more skeptical to probably not too excited if it was successful. That range,
yeah.
Right?
So this sounds like a dead end, honestly, to me. Because if it's just humans being annoyed about scions running a train line, then that sounds like a dead end.
It's less of humans just or scions running a train line, and it's more like, if this scion was to secure the funding that they're trying to fund, how much power is this scion going to gain? Mm-hmm. And how much influence is this scion going to gain on the U.S. government?
Yeah, but that doesn't say about the metal snake and stuff like that happening here.
Well,
if the metal snake was a missile.
Unless they're gonna blow up the train or something like that.
If this train goes wrong, if this train doesn't succeed, or God, even worse, if something really bad happens with this train, it looks really bad on the scions. They're not going to fund it. Yeah.
And you also know that there are some pantheons that believe humans are the most dangerous that are more dangerous than Titans.
Sure.
The Orisha believe that.
Okay, so I'll take that information, and Jay will kind of go back to Leaf, and he'll kind of gently expose what he learned, and then I think he's gonna open up the group text and kind of just send everything.
The group chat.
Yeah, and he just kind of will send everything over, and then I guess tell either Johnny or Wiley to look out for this Davidson person if nothing else seems pressing.
I gotta pick a state for Senator Davidson. I forgot I should have done that.
Sounds like Kentucky
Arkansas.
Arkansas?
Or Arkansas.
We're gonna go with Arkansas.
He's Presbyterian.
Yeah, he believes in the Western God.
What's up?
Johnny just text
Jesse,
back,
did you get the whisper that I sent you?
In
Roll 20.
Roll 20. Sorry, I haven't had it up for a little bit. Because I
It's all
have
good.
multiple
I just
tabs.
wanted some clarification on like classifications of something, so I could do that whenever I get a chance. And I didn't get a response for a while, so I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, sorry, I have multiple tabs open, so I pull away from the Roll20 chat sometimes because I'm looking at other things.
Pulling in Andromeda, 50 tabs.
Yeah, usually when I run a stream, I have a lot of tabs.
Jesse needs a third monitor, honestly.
I need a third monitor. Yes. The problem with Hornet's Nest, right? It causes chaos, right?
It says it either causes a riot or a protest at your choice.
Oh, no.
So I guess
We're the ones that caused the
a
train to
riot
crash.
or a protest in Leaf's car.
It was us all along.
So,
I'm sorry. What? Wait,
so
it was
they're not going to be crying in Leaf's car. They're going to be either rioting
Destroying
or
my
I'm
car.
thinking I'm thinking, lots of influencers very passionate about a particular subject, and they have a lot of influence.
Oh
and that
god, I'm gonna
spreads.
make Hell even more mad at me.
So are you saying like you want to create basically like a riot through not necessarily in the train, but like using the influencers and maybe using their ability to spread a story, and that story creates a riot or a protest?
Riot / trending.
So basically, we're going to make like
A Twitter
Save Theta
protest.
trend on Twitter.
All right.
That's my plan. I will have to spend a legend for it, so
Yeah, spend the legend and let me noodle this.
You know, it'd be funny.
Let me noodle it.
If Hell didn't count it because it wasn't Leaf doing it.
What's up, Julia?
well, it's like the whole processing of the sadness.
I'm gonna noodle it in my brain. But spend the legend. I think I have an idea.
Yeah, I've marked it off.
Uh-oh.
So So does Jay have anything else he wants to say to Leaf, or do you have anything you want to say or kind of talk to each other about?
I mean, he will, go back over once he's kind of officially done talking to both of those individuals. And he'll kind of say, takes another shot. Okay.
Number 2.
I feel a little bit better now.
Count it.
Feel a little bit better. I might need a third one.
Do it.
Anyway, as he's
Does drinking really solve problems like that? Okay.
Sometimes it does, helps calm the nerves. Things have been a little, twitchy lately. Like, I need to get something out, and I can't do it, and I'm stuck in a box that's moving on a... Anyway, about what we were talking about before, I think that it's good that you're understanding how your powers affect people,
That kind of sucks since I need to make whole world cry.
If that's truly the only way to get your sister back.
You can also say fuck your godparent and join a Titan parent. They'll just get your sister back in a weird way.
I mean, I know this sounds kind of redundant because considering I've been trying to do it with Sydney, don't tell the others about that. And he leans back and helping Wiley find a new godparent. If things don't work out with Hell, fuck her.
Whoa!
And he takes the third drink.
Whoa! Jay just said fuck.
A bad word!
Jay just said a bad word, guys.
I bet you Lee Bow's staring me down, being like, bitch, that's 3. No more.
No, he stops you at 6, right?
He stops me before I get to 7, drink Jay.
Yeah, he'll stop you before you get to 7. You're fine. You start getting bossy at 4, probably.
Mm-hmm.
What if we get to 7, drink Lee Bao?
No, we've already seen Lee Bao drunk on ambrosia. That's what it's called.
Was it
right?
bad?
Ambrosia?
Yes.
Was it bad?
It was very bad. It was very bad.
The fun kind of bad or the bad kind of bad?
Bad, kind of bad.
A sad kitty type of bad.
Yeah.
It was sad boy. It was sad boy hours. He's a sad drunk.
And he broke a very expensive bottle.
Well, I know she doesn't like me, but maybe we save fucking for if definitely cannot make whole world cry, which definitely seems very hard, but with
I mean, you're kind of understanding that was kind of the whole story behind Baldur, yeah?
yeah, no, yeah, the irony, yes, it's there.
So, maybe we should try to find another way.
Well-
I mean, Susano is somewhere on here. I mean, he's supposedly a death god.
On paper.
Yo, your guys' mic got funny.
Did it?
It got loud and staticky.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think maybe you talk too low. Is it still staticky right now?
We hear
There's
the
just a bunch
fan
of-
is what it is.
Yeah, there was background noise and just the audio spike just like went right up. I think somebody budged the mic.
Maybe I did it by accident. Sorry about that.
Is it fine now?
We still
Yeah.
hear the fan, but
But that's just the fan being the fan.
yeah.
It was just like a sudden and loud
Yeah.
that spooked me.
I'm wondering if, like, because you were talking so low, the volume,
It kicked
the
it up and
auto
now it's
volume kind of kicked it up a notch to try and compensate for your quiet. That's
Maybe.
all. But it's fine now, so.
Yeah.
Zoom is funny, guys.
Well, I don't know if, I mean, I probably shouldn't think that way about God, but if hell is keeping sister from me,
It's like
don't.
it sounds to
want
me
to
like
start
she's trying to punish
something.
you.
Well, yes, I would not be surprised if she was mad at me for stealing Spot.
He's making a more of a sipping drink now. And he's like, well, I mean, it's not like you asked for this,
No,
so I think that's kind of unfair.
well, life is not fair, and neither are the gods.
No, but you can make it fair. You just have to put your energies in the right place.
You have to kill God.
Have you ever heard of Persona 5? and he will
Did not just say that.
he will talk to you about Persona 5.
Leaf, it starts.
Yusuke is his favorite.
Yusuke is his favorite.
He is Yusuke.
Leaf, you hear rather politely the entire story of Persona 5.
Actually, very interesting.
They're gonna be there for like 17 hours.
Yeah, that Leaf and Jay are there the rest of the, like, just, we're not gonna...
Until
we're
we
not-
get to Omaha.
Yeah, we're not coming the next few.
There's a
sessions.
battle happening in the background. They're still talking.
It's like,
I can't believe that. Are you serious?
You mean
What
the
happens
cat
next?
turns into a man?
Turns on them? What? They bonded over waffles.
It was
Pancakes!
No, it was pancakes. Yeah. Pancakes.
Okay.
And Leaf
And
is like,
coffee.
I never saw it coming!
I quit.
No,
I quit this game. Anywho,
Fuck off.
does anyone say anything
Never
to
see
Jay's
it
group
coming.
message?
Oh my god!
Johnny
However-
says, "Who?" Question mark.
Wiley says he'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, Jay will reiterate that it is a U.S. senator from Arkansas.
Maybe he'll like
Hold on.
Wiley.
Yeah.
Explain America.
Before
No.
we get into, I will listen to Persona 5. Before we get into that, though, it sends message to fucking Du Bois, who does not, who might be part of the group chat now, but we don't know.
It's a separate group chat.
It's a different group chat.
We made another group chat.
Yeah, it's basically like
It's like we have a separate group chat for Bell Dandy.
you know, for when we need to include Bell Dandy into the conversation. It's okay. The Songbirds have their own personal group chat, and then no one knows what happens in Asher's and Bell Dandy's chat.
No one needs to know. Du Bois, this is Leaf. Don't freak out.
I'm talking in your head.
Yes. So we have Rainbow Pride bodyguards here with Senator Davidson. There are 7 of the Rainbow, and there is Senator. And we have red and green here, and they look like this. Describes what they look like. I don't know if
Gay
you
as fuck.
recall them getting on train and who they were with, maybe. But Jay doesn't trust them, but he is also drinking, so yeah.
Du Bois is like halfway through inciting a riot and like hears this. Do I like based off of the
I think you
description?
can respond. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really say. It says send a message via another person, yada yada, to someone in an instant, which can be done even if you're on present world. Somewhere to email might not reach. So it doesn't say if you can respond.
I think you can.
I'm not trying to respond. I'm saying I was gonna ask Jesse if I recognize based off of the description who Leaf is talking about.
Like the color crew.
Yeah.
The Rainbow crew. Yes, you've already recognized them because they came in a group with the government-looking officials. Could you recognize them in a crowd? Probably. Dare I say that they wear something color-coded to their name?
Oh my god.
They should, but I don't know.
A tie.
Ties?
Yes.
All right, they're gonna wear colored ties, so that's how you can.
Do some of them wear scarves, or is it all just ties?
This is literally Reservoir Dogs.
They can be varying styles of ties.
Yeah, varying styles. Some people have like a stylish kerchief. Some have bow ties.
A bolo.
A bolo. Yeah, pretty much.
Red wears an ascot, of course.
So
Mitch.
So
Red. Mitch.
Fred.
Red.
It's Fred, not Red. Duh.
So either way, you can be on the lookout for some of these agents as you go on. But Leaf, you will again politely listen to Jay talk about Persona 5 and
Killing God.
And
It's interesting.
It's very interesting, and we will the camera will sort of linger on that shot before deciding that it does not want to stay and listen to the entire reiteration of Persona 5 and start
Due to copyright reasons.
For copyright reasons, specifically, we might get DCMA'd. So it specifically starts moving very quickly through the several cars in which you will see it kind of goes into Johnny's car where the kids are jumping off of the beanbag chairs that have been settled onto the floor, and the Jenga game has gotten rather intense as one of the other influencers is basically taking pictures of how tall this Jenga tower has gotten, and is wondering why it hasn't fallen because we are on a high-speed train. This bitch should be moving, and yet the kids have managed to get it nearly to the ceiling. This is rather impressive. It zooms past
That's the perfect balance because they're a social group.
Yes, it's really there's a moment of like everybody holding their breath and watching as Hudson punches the middle brick, and it just drops the whole tower down, like the whole, because it was just like that one brick in the middle, and he just fucking
Proud of him.
punches it out, and then the whole thing drops, but it still is, you know, in tower form. You've seen that move, right, before? Have you ever seen that move?
Yeah, you just deck the center one and it just falls perfectly.
Yes. You've never.
That's very impressive.
You've never seen that move before? People do it all the time. It's high IQ.
Alarming.
Very high IQ move. And everybody fucking loses their shit. Like, if you ever gone on subreddit Instant Barbarians, it's that.
I'm going to after this now.
It's very great subreddit, fun subreddit. The camera continues to move as you see Wiley's car, and there is a very intense poker game happening between the two government officials, as well as one of the business people, and two agents that are there just to kind of play, but they're not really playing. They're just there to kind of be present, and you can see that there is this moment where, like, man, that would be a really intense thing to watch right now. Maybe there's something hidden, there's maybe some, you know, backstory behind all this, but the camera doesn't care. It starts moving past it. Because what we do care about is specifically the front of the train, where we have our anxious Coyote pacing very, very, wearing a hole in the metal flooring of the space. There is a conductor who is driving the train that is trying not to watch, you know, Wiley just constantly doing this pacing, and a like co-conductor who is sort of leaning on the chair, kind of watching the same, and sort of looking past Wiley to the one person who might be able to soothe the chaos that is bubbling inside of this man's chest. One could only hope. But Johnny, you are also distracted, sort of finally watching these cameras, which this computer screen is only like this fucking like 12-inch screen. So like every single thing is super, like every single like camera feed is very tiny in comparison, and it's super difficult to kind of just parse out everything, which would require a significant check to do so. But it's just that complication that's kind of lingering on this check to kind of do your observations, right? Mm-hmm. Is the noise of this man who is going back and forth and then hovering behind the conductor, staring outside the window, then starting to pace back because things haven't changed in the last 5 minutes, but he feels like he still needs to stay here because he needs to remain vigilant, because this is the most important thing in the entire world to him right now, because Robbie's his bro, and he made something for him, goddammit, and he needs to pay him back through this task. Also, he has to kind of try and kill himself, but not kill himself, in order to abandon his godparent, who he thought was the only person that loved him. Am I getting everything yet? Have I gotten close? Am I missing anything yet, Taylor? That is complicating your concentration.
God. Also the queer panic.
What is going to get done? What is going to be your focus, Johnny?
He's just going to be staring hunched over this tiny screen that he does not like. Then again, he hasn't really... This is probably one of the bigger screens he's stared at in a while. But still, it kind of hurts.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye strain, and you only have one of those.
You use the other one, it just won't do much. It'd be kaleidoscope, and it'd be even worse.
Yeah, you'd get a migraine. It's not fun.
It's just a bad time. And the tip tapping against the metal floor is even more annoying.
Tip tap, tip tap.
Johnny will lean back and like stare at Wiley for a moment.
He's kind of just scrubbing his hand on his face, looking out the front of the train.
You've been out at that for at least seems like an hour.
It's been more than that, probably.
Got about 10 more.
Are you gonna work your way through the floor? Nothing's gonna happen right away. We have, if anything, it's gonna happen. One of the stops or something. No, they might want to do it in front of people, not just the middle of the desert. If this is a statement.
True. Since a lot of people don't want this to happen, you're right. I need to calm down. I'll kind of rub at his eyes.
He'll pat the spot next to him.
No.
Do you want to stare at this with me?
He'll kind of sit down next to you and lean very heavily on whatever table or counter is there. I should probably go check on my car, I guess.
He'll just point to the screen, just scanning it before poking it.
So there's probably like one of the screens like is your car, and it flips through like maybe one or two of the cameras that are there. Probably one looking over like one end, and the other one looking the other end. Sort of directionally, so you can see from that vantage point basically what is going on in your car, which seems to be like a very, very intense Texas Hold'em poker game between the two government officials, which is Senator Jones and Davidson. Very generic names, I know. And you'll see that two agents, we have Sienna and Limon. And then Gianna Sullivan, owner of Sullivan Architecture firm.
Okay.
You know what would be interesting? If we just charge them on the way out. Do you see the stack of money that they have? Or
I mean,
chips and money?
I'm curious, but I wouldn't want to take money away from them. Kind of having their money right now makes them happy, and having a good experience here is probably relatively ideal.
For Ravi, at least, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go see what they're doing. Or how it's going. Kind of
Gonna walk more?
make my appearance, I guess. I should get out of this car for their sanity. And he'll gesture to the engineers.
They, if you look back, the one that was like watching you pace in slight annoyance will suddenly like spin back around, like, I wasn't looking. Nope, wasn't looking. I was gonna say, I think like part of them know that something is off about you. Maybe it's the contacts. Maybe
it's the gentle hum of electricity, indicative of tension.
Yes.
Who knows? I don't know what it could be, I just don't know.
I mean, Johnny, you can always go with Wiley to fuck with the poker game.
You could.
They do have a lot of money.
He'll groan as he stands up. His joints kind of crack. He'll say, "You coming?"
Only if you take a break later.
This is a break.
Well, if you're aching every time you stand, then might need to relax.
all the hard work coming about in the ass.
We still have a lot to plan for, and we need both of us to be, ready.
Yeah, we still have to plan that, huh? I kind
Or-
of look
No.
a little sad.
It'll be fine, I'm sure. We just need to, I do things more spur of the moment, so
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I should get more used to that instead of agonizing.
I mean, you do have the purview of over order now, right?
Not yet. I
Not
haven't
yet.
taken it.
Okay, so
Wait, did I? No, I haven't taken it yet.
Okay.
But he's veering that direction. Still wild, not order.
It's wild. Got it.
No, I'll figure it out. And he'll kind of offer a hand to you.
he'll grab the laptop first and steal it practically from this cart as he takes
Surely the Wi-Fi
Wiley's...
travels with me.
Surely. It'll make sense. We're just going a car over.
Well, multiple cars over, right?
There's Wi-Fi on this whole damn train. If there wasn't, these bitches wouldn't be here. Look at the influencers.
These influencers
They're abundant.
wouldn't be here. But Johnny will take his hand and scoot them out of the booth or whatever they were sitting in.
Yeah, so it would be probably the back section of the car is probably where you guys were. So once you exit that car, you'd go through essentially it's probably Ravi's main car where some of his employees are coming from and things of that nature. And where he's probably would be staying if he was sleeping. And you got the first couple of cars that you have to walk through, right? Because you guys are on the back, or your cars are in the back of the train, somewhere in the halfway point on. And the front end will have basically, it's a variety of, there's probably one themed car that's for leisure, mostly because the majority of the trains that you guys have are leisure trains or leisure cars.
Yeah.
So the cars that you pass by are basically the cars that people are sleeping in for the overnight portion of the trip. Because you guys left LA in the afternoon, so we're kind of going into the evening, right?
Right.
So you'll see basically those little compartment doors. It's the hallway is on one side of the train, and you'll have the multiple compartment doors, and each of those compartments house beds or whatever. It's a room. As you progress through, you can tell that there are some themes going on the train specifically. Notable Deva kind of iconography, and it is important to note that the Deva do believe that snakes are sacred, so there is definitely snake iconography. It's not just a coincidence. I'm just letting you know that kind of exists anyway. And if you ever chance to look through the window, you'll see that everything is finely designed. This is definitely the high-end train, right? Probably more first class, kind of stuff. And theoretically, there would be maybe economy class, kind of closer towards the back, if there was, Snowpiercer. If you guys remember that movie,
And/or TV show.
And there was a TV show for it too?
There is a TV show.
Oh, wow.
It stars David Diggs.
That's cool.
I believe there's also a book series.
I wonder if the book series came first, then the movie, and then...
I have no idea.
Either way, that's cool. Just imagine that kind of idea. All the nice trains are in the front, and then they kind of get gradually a little bit less fancy in the middle, and then if your cars weren't there, it would probably create an economy class. Economy cars in the back. But yours is the first of the custom cars. When you go in and you have that nice saloon-styled music going in your Wild West saloon car. Very indicative of what you were raised in and stuff like that. Not specifically, if I remember correctly, it wasn't specifically like Indra focused.
Not at all.
Not at all. At all.
It's
Not
just
though.
Wiley.
He's gonna know.
I mean, he's gonna find out eventually, right?
Eventually.
He'll find out eventually. It just depends on how well you hide it, how soon that is, right? It's an inevitability that he will find out one day.
An inevitability.
I am inevitable.
I'm inedible? What?
Shut up.
We can't bore you?
I'm
Okay.
trying.
The fucking
Came out a
mic
little
pick
too
shifted
quick.
you.
That came out too fast.
Where
Yeah.
and what are you doing?
Wiley's gonna go watch this fucking Texas Hold'em game.
Okay. Do you
Yeah, we're gonna go watch and see what's funny, or what funny can happen.
Can I ask
That's
one
what
more
Johnny
question?
Sure.
wants to.
While they were doing the whole surveillance thing, did any of them get to see the protest/riot ensuing?
There's
Probably.
not a protest / riot going on inside of this train.
No, but what Johnny did see is several people going to Leaf's room and then immediately exit.
You saw that initially, and you also saw what is essentially, you probably saw Du Bois make his way over to meet up with another influencer. And this influencer...
Are they just angry typing?
This influencer as if they're dead.
Stranger Things.
They are a reporter.
Uh-oh, stinky.
And you grab them and bring them to the room.
You can show them the mural and everything.
And show them the mural, to which they write a very, very
Strongly worded letter.
Editorial letter. Because you spent the legend point,
God.
It's like you're encouraging them, like, yeah, and it's fucking awful, isn't it?
And make sure you get a good picture of that art piece that is guaranteed to ensue lots of sorrow in everyone that looks at it.
Make them bitches cry.
And you won't know this, right? But said editorial is going to go viral. That's where the legend point is going to be spent. Now, is it going to be...
That works with me. That's a lot less destructive than I thought you were going to take it.
Is it going to be a protest or a riot at the nearest hell shrine? It's anybody's guess.
Both.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
You know what, Jay? Switching God sounds so good. So good.
I don't know why, but I feel like I should definitely switch my Don't worry, people are they're gonna cry, and then they're going to
Die.
What specifically are you going to deal in with the poker game, Wiley and or Johnny, or are you going to watch to see who you should be worried about?
I don't like the senator. Because if I pull a no masters on them and just start a shit show at the poker table, it would be hilarious.
I think the stream dropped temporarily, but we're back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're back.
I was gonna say I think it's doing what it did to Fem, but
yeah, it disconnected briefly and then it just reconnected. Like my literal timer just reset, so I know that happened. We didn't miss too much. We're deciding on who's going to be playing poker. So Wiley, you're gonna play. Johnny, you're and Wiley's going to play and observe via playing. There's no sound coming through.
Uh-oh.
That's weird.
Is that...
Matthew's no good.
Uh-oh. I need to open up the stream.
So remember when I joked about having to do sign language?
There's sound on the YouTube side,
There's sound.
just not on the Twitch side.
She.
That's really
It's
weird.
It's not a Jack on
Twitch.
Hair stream unless there's technical difficulties.
Winge.
Caption issues detected. No shit, Sherlock.
We are not hearing you right now.
What? Can't hear you.
No, we are definitely muted for sure.
We got censored.
DMCA.
I'm going to stop it temporarily.